Welcome back. We're here with Rob Dunn, who wrote The Wildlife of Our Bodies. So your book was published by Harper Publishers a few years ago.
Yes.
So your book talks a lot about how humans have co-evolved with many different organisms in our world today. And you talk a lot about parasites, especially, and a common misconception is that parasites are bad for everything. But in fact, your research shows that there have been some people who have been cured by parasites. They've been cured of their asthma and their allergies. So there was a man who purposely contracted hookworms in your book, and can you tell us a bit more about that? Because would you contract hookworms? I don't know if I would.
Well, this man was suffering from asthma and a few other, symptoms that were messing with his day-to-day schedule. And he had nowhere else to turn. When he took in the hookworms, the thing that he noticed is that all of the symptoms were gone, and it was a huge relief on his life.
Do you think that this could be something that would be applied to everyone? If I'm running low on pills, should I contract some hookworms?
Well, with every, putting any organism in your body, there's going to be some bad things that turn out with it. I mean, hookworms, we try to prevent ourselves from hookworms for a reason, but if your life is, it's a shambles and asthma and other, allergies and things like that, you've got nowhere else to turn, I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, they are very interesting.
Affected probably in the last week of January of 2006.
The creatures? Hookworms.
It's not a fringe therapy. What it is an experimental scientific therapy.
Jasper Lawrence says severe allergies and asthma wrecked his life. Medications offered little benefit and caused tremendous weight gain. A documentary hooked him on trying hookworms for a cure. He soon found himself in Cameroon, Africa.
It's a dangerous place, Cameroon.
Lawrence walked barefoot across open-air latrines in order to get infected with hookworms.
And when a person first gets infected, they'll get an itch at the site where they enter your skin. You might get a cough, and you're going to feel a little fatigued. You might experience some diarrhea.
But once home, he says his allergies and asthma disappeared. Now the Silicon Valley entrepreneur is helping others by incubating the worms in his gut.
You also talk about the appendix, which a lot of people would argue is one of the most interesting organs in the human body, and we scientists haven't conclusively figured out what purpose it shares. But what would you say on that?
Well, for years, we thought we didn't know what it was for. We only knew that, if you had appendicitis, we had to get it removed.
Yeah.
That was all in my book, it even talks about, the first appendix removal was done in a submarine, 100 feet below, ground surface, or 100 miles. And then...
What do you say about that? Because a lot of people had more hair back then.
Yes.
So why have we lost so much hair? I mean, I don't think it's like the type of hair that men would complain about losing on top of their heads, but...
Yeah. Well, I think we have actually evolved for our bodies to have less hair because it's safer now. I mean, back then we needed more hair for protection from sunlight, from weather, stuff like that, falling, scraping, stuff like that.
But you also touch on lice and ticks.
Yes, I'm getting that. So now we don't have as much hair because we have as much hair now is because through the years we have developed, getting ticks, getting worms, stuff like lice, things in our hair that have caused us to die. So our body has evolved so that we can protect ourselves better against those kind of predators because those are our real predators nowadays. I mean, viruses, bugs, little parasites, things we can't see. I mean, that's what attacks us the most. We don't have lions and things that are, coming from above or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we've developed, a hairless or close to it body.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone?
Are you going trick-or-treating?
No, probably.
So we have a few readers who loved your book, and they have a few quotes they would like to share and ask you about.
Okay.
Hi, Rob. I just want to say I loved your book. It was really interesting and mind-opening. I have a quote from the end of your book. It says, "We need to maintain the kinds of wild places in which the truths about who we are most evident." Do you think that humans are capable of doing this?
Perfect.
Well, I think there's nothing we can change to make it go back to how it was in the past, but I think we can be conscious about our future and the way that we can try to incorporate some of those ideals from back then into these, this industrialized world we have today.
Well, thank you, Carlo. We also have Isaac over here. Isaac, what did you think about the book?
The book was very inspiring, and it talks about all the day-to-day experiences in the book, about how most of the parasites that affect us today. And I have a quote that describes how parasites and have affected us, affecting with other humans around the world. The quote is, "Xenophobia might guard us against diseases that travel from one tribe to the next." My question is, could you give me an example of how this affects us now, and how would it continue on, and how has it happened before?
Excellent question. What do you think, Rob?
I think xenophobia is affecting us today exactly how it affected us in the past. How what we don't know kills us, and our ancestors saw that, and so we are continuously scared. We still don't know. People from one part of the planet might not know the diseases from another part of the planet, and they don't have tolerance to it, and they know that. So xenophobia still exists, and it will exist.
Carlo, do you think you would recommend this book?
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to be a science person to read this book, but it goes into a lot of depth.
Well, Rob, we've had a great time here having you on the show, and we were just wondering if you could leave us with a quote that would summarize the true meaning of your book.
Well, I think throughout the entire book, the quote that really wraps up how in depth we are with other organisms that work with us, and how they work with us and we work with them, is whether we notice it or not, we will and always will be where the wild things are.
That's perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here on the show, and thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you soon.
Rob Dunn, out. Did it.